So we're here with Christian Guitar Book, and this is introduction number 2. It's going to be 3 of them before we actually start the real lessons. But anyway, introduction to, in your book, pages 6 through 8. And we're talking about open chords, and we're going to talk about the strings that we fret. That means the strings that we put our fingers on. And in this situation, the open strings, the strings that are not touched, but we play them in the chord. All right, so I'm going to do close-ups on these, but right now what I'm doing an E chord, all 6 strings. I wanted to show you or let you see and hear different approaches to strumming. All right, so I always call it like a harp, water cascading down steps. You let it flutter through. The pick is bent down. It's not grasped real tight. Now I'll go ahead and throw this in. When I play that strum, my beat is, the downbeat is when I hit the first string. It's not here. It's ba, ba. 1, 2, 3, 4, ba. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm, don't think about it too much, but I'm actually starting before the beat to get down to the first string. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's important. Now the next thing is just a quick pop. Now you don't have to stop it, but what I'm doing is I'm not trying to catch all 6. I could, but instead of hear the difference? And here's another one. I'm going to strum this like 8th notes, and we'll talk about that in the next introduction lesson. I'm going to strum the low. I would normally do 8th notes, and I would probably do a little bit of palm muting with this right hand. If I don't mute it, it's going to ring. And the second one would be the high end. I can palm mute that too. And then the other one that I do a lot, because I play fingerstyle, and I'm always thinking of keeping the 6 in the first string for special moments. So I'm doing most of my fingering in the middle 4, strings 2, 3, 4, 5, or 5, 4, 3, 2. So I've got the E chord, and I'm not going to look or make sure, but I'm going to think about playing the inside 4 strings. So I'm going to try not to hit string 6 and try not to hit or touch string number 1. There's the low, middle, here's the high. So with that one simple thing, you can create different sounds, tones, chord voicings using the same chords depending on where you are in the song. The intro, the verse, the chorus, the bridge, the outro. You can do little things like that. Okay, so I'll show you this wide open. I'm gonna do a C chord, and that was one that we had in introduction number 1. That was the first chord that they showed us. Has an X over string number 6, so I don't play that, but I play 5 down. Here we go, 5 down. If I'm not careful, the inside part of my fingers, if I relax them too much, I'm going to touch other strings. So I've got to rotate that wrist. Remember we talked about rotating that wrist up? So you want to go for the tip of your fingers, and this is why our fingers get sore sometimes, because even on a keyboard, we're still using more of the pad of our finger rather than the very tip. But you want to rotate that wrist. If you have on the first string, that means you've got to rotate that up like that. Okay? So that's what we call accidental muting. All right, so now we're gonna go to the chords, and I'm just gonna run through them sitting here. The first is the E chord. Now, if I remove my ring finger, I've got an E7. Kind of has a drop shoulder sound. Here's the major, the E major. We just call it E. And here's the E7. And we just call it E7. It's a dominant 7, but just call it E7. So E, E7. Now we'll go to the A, and I'll do it with the 3 fingers. There's an X, should be an X over number 6. Even though it's in the chord, we want the string 5 to be dominant because, or to sound, because that's the root note of the chord. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So in the 1, 2, 3 fingering, if I lift the middle, I've got my A dominant 7, and we'll call it A7. Here's the A7, kind of bright. Here's the A dominant 7, A7. Good. So now we go to the D chord. We're playing 4 down. You can play 5 down. The A is in the chord, but that 4th string is a D. That's our dominant sound. So there's a D chord. It's the brightest chord known to man. Got to move fingers around. What we're going to do for the D7, we're going to play these 2 notes on string 1 and 3, but we're going to move to these 2 fingers, string 3, string 1, and we're going to put our first finger on the 2nd string 1st fret. So here's the D major bright, D7, drop shoulder. Good. So now we go to the G chord. Now, a lot of books, and I haven't looked at the book, but a lot of books will have it using fingers 3, 2, and 1. The pinky's kind of spastic when we first start playing the guitar, but if you've been playing for a while, I suggest that you move to this. This will be in a C position. You see, there's the C, and then there is the G. We're taking these 2 finger 2 and 3, and it moves back and forth. Like if I'm in the key of G, my 4 chord is C, and then D is 5. It's a lot easier than, I'm not sure I can do that anymore. Anyway, so here is the G chord, and in the same position, I'm going to replace this 4th finger on the 1st string, pick it up, and put my 1st finger down on the 1st string 1st fret, and that's a G7. You can actually have it there. So now I'm going to show you what's called an Eagles G. What they do is they're adding an extra D to the G chord rather than the B, which is the 3rd, and they're playing the low G on the 6th, but they're muting out what would normally be the B. So this is like a 5 chord. They've taken the 3rd of the chord out. Yeah, hey, that sounds like an Eagles song. Running down the road, yeah. But Desperado, City Girls, that's City Girls. So I'm going to go from a G, an Eagles G, where there's no 3rd in the chord, no B. And I'm going to replace my pinky, number 4 on the 1st string, with my index finger on the 2nd fret, 1st string. And then that's a G major 7. You hear that? Go to D, D7. Suspend and release, and then to a D7 too. So that's just a nice little deal. So now let's look at 2 minor chords that they have in our book on page, I think it's 8. The first is an A minor. It's coming off the A chord. The shape of the A minor chord is the same as the E. So we started with an E. What we're going to do is take that E-shaped chord and move it towards smaller strings. Same frets, Same fingers, but each finger goes to a smaller, higher pitched string. So now we're going to play the 5th string open, and 4, 3, 2, 1. You see that minor note, that third being dropped half a step, was here. There's the A, here's the A minor. So we've got 3 sounds. Let me finger it the way I play. Here's an A, A7, A minor. All right, so that's good. So let's talk about strumming just a little bit. I'm going to do a G chord, so I'll do an E, all 6 strings. So I'm going to do quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, all down. So you've got the heart cascading to the beat. Now I'm going to change to a short chord. I can do all 8th notes down. I wouldn't want to catch all 6 except on beat 1. So now let's talk about a down up. If I were to play down, 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 then that would be 4 notes, 4 quarter notes all down. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I were to play on the 3rd beat, a 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now I'm I'm really exaggerating that up. But what you want to think about is trying to lightly come up with the pick and hit strings 1 and 2. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 3 and 4. Now, if you're struggling with keeping the 4 beats, then you need to do everything at a slower speed, slower tempo until it gets inside you. Played drums for years, and I had one incident in a presentation where I lost the feel of the beat, and I mean I was in no man's land. The bass guitar got me back on. I just had to stop, listen, and mainly look, because I couldn't feel it until I found that first beat. So the rhythm has to be inside, and sometimes it takes some time for that to happen. But let me emphasize this. This is not a heavy lesson on strumming, it's just an intro, but you want to make sure if it is the 1, 2, 3, and 4, tell your body there are 3 downstrokes before any up. Don't be thinking about the up, because the up comes right in between the 3, then the 4. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's almost like you need to tell your braino that the rhythm that you're strumming is 1, 2, 3. Then the next segment is and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let me do this. I will play an E and an A. In the key of E, you've got E, F, G, A. That's the 5 chord. E, F, G, A is the 4 chord. I knew that didn't sound right. B7 or B is the 5. So I'm going to play 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm not asking you, I just want you to see. My brain is thinking of that as a separate sound. So now I'm going to play I'm going to play 1, 2, 3, and 4 on each of these 3 chords, the E, the A, and the B7. And then I'll come home to E with a squiggly line with an arrow for the big ending. All right, 1, 2, 3, and 4. A, B7, squiggly line, big ending. Okay, so I think that'll do it. Work on that. And again, we're going to look at some note values and note rests, ties, and dots in the next introduction. Take care and God bless you.